Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Single Stop for Software Quality Professionals. My name is Vlad Antonov and this is my new series of how to become a quality professional. So you want to become a quality professional, where to start? Well, I have some good news and bad news, right? Let me start with bad news first. There is no official training that you can go in college, like a 2 year or 4 year degree. And there could be many reasons for that, which I'm not going to go into, right? Uh, well, maybe I will go on one reason, right? So, as I mentioned in my very first video, in the computer science program for universities, colleges, and basic schools, 2 or 4 year program, there is no mention about quality. So when software developers go in the real world, they're being shocked that they now need to actually test their code, because who the heck cares about testing, right? That's what they all say. All the junior folks who I have worked with. Sometimes that goes into more medium and senior roles, but that's besides the point. But where do you start, right? So I gave you some negative news, but here's positive news: that there's plenty of resources out there that will help you get there. You just Google it, right? Software quality assurance, and there's small certification programs. There are books out there. There are blogs. There are conferences that you can go to. There are plenty of things, and I will discuss it with you and give you some hints on where to go and what to do. A lot of that wasn't available 20 plus years ago when I started. There were some books, but not not a lot of content on the internet and things like that. So, but at first, where you want to start is you need to tell yourself, well, I'm interested to find out what it is, right? I can tell you this, guys, just there's no joke about this, but you need to like quality. You need to be, what does that mean, right? It doesn't mean that you need to be, neat and make sure that, your table is always clean. Although, if you're professional, your table looks like, piled up documents and food and all the other disgusting things like socks and stuff like that. That's probably not the best way to go about it. But you want to have quality on your mind, right? Meaning that if you do the work, you want to make sure that it gets completed and it has the highest quality. Let me give you an example. When you're done with your lunch or dinner, right? You probably, take your plates, put them in the dishwasher or elsewhere, but usually in dishwasher, right? You probably wipe out your table, make sure it's not dirty anymore. And maybe even make sure, that, haven't left any stains or stuff like that. I'm talking about your own house, not, at a restaurant, obviously. If you do that, well, that's part of quality assurance. You not only you actually did the process, right, but you actually assured that the table is now clean and you're free to go. That's just one simple example, right? But it's a very important one. It might actually sound silly, but it's a very important one, right? That kind of quality, that kind of type of personality makes a very good candidacy for a quality assurance person for the software, right? If you don't have that, you can work towards that. It's not a very hard habit to get, right? So if you don't do that, but you still like you're still thinking about software quality or quality in general, I mean, you can work at it. This is the skill that you can go ahead and gain. But you need to do it every day in everything that you do, right? Because that kind of trend is exactly what individual contributors are doing when they're testing software, right? They're being very thorough with what needs to be tested. They go through testing process and they provide results, positive and negative results of the outcome, right? Now, let's really start with defining software quality assurance as it says on Wikipedia. It's a very broad, very general explanation, but it means a practice of monitoring all software engineering processes, which we will discuss, methods and work products to ensure compliance against defined standards. Now that's a very broad definition, but it kind of sums up it all. So basically, software needs to do X and it does X, or it does Y and it's incorrect, right? Also, software does X and it works flawlessly, right? Or it has bugs in the X, bugs, defects. This is one of the quality assurance terms. If you decide that this is something for you, then I think this is the channel where you want to stay, because I will be discussing a lot from my experience as an individual contributor and as a senior leader, a manager, of how these processes have evolved and what can you do to catch up really fast, and how can you jumpstart your career if you're thinking about quality assurance, or if you want to switch to it, which is also not hard, and I'll tell you how to do that, or if you want to progress in it, right? Like for example, go from manual QA into an engineer, automation engineer. I can discuss that as well. So there's plenty of opportunities here to discuss, and I will go through all these topics with a series of videos. Let me just tell you how I was sold, right? So my previous video, I already mentioned that. So I've graduated, how I was sold on becoming a quality experience professional, right? So I've graduated in early 2000s from a Boston school called Wentworth Institute of Technology, and then at that same time, the dot-com boom happened. For slightly older people, what means that the stock market crashed because of all the companies were overvaluated for businesses that they had or haven't had, right? So everything crashed, and at that point there was way too many developers out there and professionals who thought they were professionals, right? So they all ended up without the jobs, right? And so at that point, I will remember looking at the job posting for all of us older people at Monster.com. There are other job sites right now, but that was the big one, and there was no jobs on a daily basis, like at all. So a friend of mine told me that there is opportunity at this company. Actually, it was a speech recognition company, so I knew nothing about speech recognition. I knew nothing about the job, which is called quality assurance. And this was one of my first jobs too, so very junior in all the aspects. I did know some coding, but that was about it. So long story short, I've got the job, right? And started working at this. I'm not going to go only details of good and bad things that happened at that startup, but one of the things that I really got me excited was that I would work hand in hand with engineers that would give me something that they have developed and say, hey, here's the script, how it's supposed to work. Just check that it's compliant in the script. And I will be finding all of these issues called bugs, right? And when I find the bugs, I would report it back to them. At that company, they didn't have any kind of system you put it in, but it was very basic. They just kind of record notebook, hey, it doesn't work here, right? They would come back, fix it, and sometimes by fixing, they would screw up something else, right? So it was really interesting exchange between development and myself. Sometimes it was challenging because they did not want to say that there's actually a problem, but back and forth, because my job was important, right? They have hired few of us at the same time, and the developer had to listen to us, and that was the interesting selling point to be like development listens to quality people, right? Because they understand that if they don't listen to them, the quality will not approve the release, right? well, not approving the official release. So release is something that, a bunch of features getting together, all the new functionality that was designed for release, and then QA provides the approval or not. In many companies, that approval is more like a recommendation. So we're gonna actually, instead of using word approval, we're actually gonna say recommendation to release or not, right? So from now on, we're gonna use that terminology. So that whole process, right, going from the development to QA stage, and then doing all the work in the QA between development and QA, and going into the release stage, right? That's actually, that got me kind of thrilled, right? I've learned a lot of things along the way, and I really like, oh, listen, maybe it's my field, right? But so that is why I want to actually show it all to you, that this is actually a very exciting field. It's has a lot of opportunities. From that field, you can jump to any other field, right? Like project management, development, right? If you're not a developer yet, you can jump into, sales, because you actually sell your skills. So there's just a lot of opportunities in quality. But I was really sold that job, and I've never went back to development or anything else. And for the 20 plus years of my career, I have worked at small companies and big companies. I worked at Microsoft, I worked at Intel, I worked at Amazon, I worked at Wayfair. So all these bigger companies. So let's just quickly talk about it. I will do my best to provide you with information about where to kickstart, what classes to take, which books to read. All you have to do is just follow me. My channel is Single Stop for Software Quality. Tell your friends, friends. This is absolutely free for you. I'm not monetizing on this. In the future, who knows? But right now, I really just want to not hold on to all of the knowledge that I have gained over the years, right? And so I would just like to give it out there, encourage you guys to try it out, and really make you successful in this field. So follow me, Single Stop for Software Quality. My name is Vlad Antonov. Until the next time.